This week we're going to highlight planting progress here in the U.S. as well as short-term weather trends. Then we're going to turn our attention to Brazil, where corn is pollinating as we speak. We're going to come back and look at updated export trends for the U.S. corn market. And we're going to wrap things up with a long-term review of December corn futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved in the middle of April here, and of course that means it's time to plant corn here in the U.S. With that backdrop, we're going to focus this week on topsoil moisture here in the U.S. Our slide is courtesy of T-Storm Weather. Again, this is looking at the last 14 days precip. You can see there's quite a divergence here across the Midwest. Quite dry as you look at west of the Mississippi River, parts of Iowa, southeast Minnesota, southeast Nebraska, as well as Kansas. Notice, however, the further east and south you go, how wet it's been. Of course, that heavy rainfall that we saw recently across that region. Let's now look at actual corn planting progress here, courtesy of USDA. As of April 13th, nationwide at 4%. Now, last year we got off to a little quicker start. We were at 6% last year, and the 5-year average is 5%. Let's look at the history of corn planting progress here. Now we're going to highlight is that on average, approximately 17% of the U.S. corn is planted between April 13th and the 27th. Of course, that planting progress pace is directly tied to the weather. With that in mind, let's take a look at the short-term forecast. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. Now we're looking here at a stormy pattern potentially setting up here, starting Thursday through Monday later this week. We're looking at all those fronts moving in from the northwest, potentially meeting up with muggy air working its way up from the south there. And the recipe, if you will, for stormy weather is highlighted in this slide all across that area here. The heaviest rainfall is in that pink area. As we move further north, still got a high potential for above normal precip. And that entire green area looks like it could be wet also. Let's look at a different perspective here. We're looking at between the purple lines here with the U.S. corn production as the backdrop. Between those purple lines, if you will, based on recent rainfall and projected rainfall, that's the area we see the highest potential for potential planting problems short term. Let's now quantify rainfall totals over the next 2 weeks. Now again, on this slide, looking at the next 14 days, quite a bit of green on this slide. That's slightly wet to in some cases very wet. Even those yellow areas are normal precip. So planting may be a challenge here as we enter this coming weekend. Let's shift gears now to South America, specifically looking at Brazil. Let's take a look at where that corn is produced in Brazil. Again, this is double crop corn following the soybean harvest. Mato Grosso there in the northwest is by far the largest producing state, but other key states include Goiás, Mato Grosso do Sul, and Paraná. Now in terms of progress, a lot of that corn now is pollinating, approaching 50% here in April. You can see a very key time period historically in terms of when that crop pollinates. Why is that important? Because rainfall historically declines quite a bit in April and quite a bit more as the dry season begins in May. So we're keeping a close eye on the weather. What about the weather? Looking at the next 14 days, quite wet across all those key areas. So no major weather concerns across Brazil at this time. Let's shift gears and briefly look at export sales trends in the U.S. Now we're looking here at the unshipped sales total here. This includes all areas, including China. And we're looking at an area total this year. It's above the last 2 years. Now, if we omit China from the equation, as it were, we're looking at the highest level in many years, back to 17-18, second highest level the last 20 years. Key message, year-to-date sales of 2.166 billion bushels are 25% higher than a year ago. And omitting China, unshipped sales are 120 million bushels above last year. As a result, Advanced Trading increased our forecast by 15 million bushels this week to 2.565 billion bushel. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in December corn. December corn, as you tape here on Tuesday, has rebounded a bit to $4.65 a bushel. Notice that historically there's that potential between those crop insurance periods of February and October for quite a bit of price volatility. Therefore, we continue to strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Hope you have a happy Easter.